Om Namah Shivaya. We'll continue with the teachings of Swami Shivananda on the topic of God. So yesterday we saw Swami Shivananda answering the question, is there a God? And then he says that God is behind all the natural phenomena of creation. So he says, it is God who lends power to our senses, perception to our mind, discernment to our intellect, strength to our limbs. It is through His will that we live and die. Right? So if you look at it, although we have a sense of being an independent being, which is the nature of egoism or individuality, that we have a sense that I am self-sufficient, right? So all I need to do to exist is to eat some tofu, some cornflakes, and I'm good to go. I exist, you see? But actually, right, how are you chewing the food? How are you digesting it? Are you doing it, right? Would you want to have the responsibility of doing it for one day, right? So your body would not survive even 1 minute. So the point is that there are infinite activities, which is what we call life, right? We have here some scientists coming, and they say that this is few years ago, that the current understanding is that each cell in your body, and you have about 100 trillion of them, performs 100,000 actions per moment, right? So 100,000 actions in one of those cells. This is what we know now. It will change. We will find that it's much more for sure. But you have 100 trillions of them, right? So how come they are so nicely orchestrated and you can just go about your day with this infinite number of actions taking place in your body? Not to speak about the mind, which is extremely complex, you see. So the idea is that there is an infinite and there is an infinite intelligence behind everything in creation, which is invisible for the self-assertive ego, which thinks I am doing everything. You see, but if one looks at it, then you see that there is nothing you're doing. You see, because how can you be the one that is doing if you have no clue how it's done? Right? So, like, I'm growing my beard. That's very nice, right? Do you know what is a beard? Why is it growing here and not here? Right? You don't know anything about it. Okay? So, truly, if you look at it, there is nothing which you understand or know about what's going on. You just get used to it being done as it is. That's all. Okay? But if you truly look at your own body, your own mind, the creation around you, it's a pure mystery. There is nothing which you understand. How come you see? How come you hear? How come you think? No one knows anything about it. That's the truth. Okay, we just try to understand how it operates and draw some conclusions to work with it in a constructive way. We call it medicine, psychology, all those things. But we have no clue, that's the truth. Because it's all coming from this one infinite being. This is what Swami Brahmananda is saying. It is through his will that we live and die, right? So how do we live? Anyone knows what is life, right? How come you are alive? What makes one die, right? So all those things, Swami Brahmananda says this is the will of the one. Right? So yogis call it prarabdha karma, which means actually the experiences of our life are the manifestations of results of previous actions. But man vainly imagines that he is the actor and the enjoyer. So because of egoism, we vainly imagine that I am the one who is doing everything and I am the one that is experiencing everything. Okay, this is called egoism. So this egoism robs us from the awareness that actually that life is infinite, that life is unlimited. So the moment it's all about me, everything that happens is about me, we lose touch with the infinite. We become a mundane, apparently separate being. Okay, and then samsara sets in. Then what we call suffering becomes very, very prominent in our life because we are totally out of touch from reality. Man is a mere nothing before the Almighty, governing power that directs the movement in the universe. Okay, this is also why to be in nature is so important, because nature gives us this clarity that indeed there is a supreme will governing everything. So the purity of nature brings us this awareness that we are nothing. See, I'm here today. Who knows if I'll be here tomorrow? And who cares also? Because life goes on. See, everything comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. So impermanence is a very important teaching for us. It allows us to abandon the self-importance of individuality and abide in the one which governs everything. This is the idea, right? So think about, we have here the ocean, right? Think about how many years has this rhythm of the sounds of the waves been going on, right? Some of us are here for few decades, some of us are here for few years, but this has been going on for millions and millions of years. Can you imagine that this sound has been going on for millions of years? You see? So this is what Swami Brahmananda means. He says that actually the individual life is a nothing. It's a nothing in the individual sense, but within us resides the infinite. You see, the self, the awareness within us is the infinite reality. So if we take the individual insignificant to be everything, we lose everything. If we abandon that individual self-importance, then as Swami Shivananda we read yesterday, he says all is lost and all is found. This is that. God's will expresses itself everywhere as law. The laws of gravitation, cohesion, relativity, cause and effect, the laws of electricity, chemistry, physics, all the psychic laws are expressions of God's will. So Swami Brahmananda here says that God manifests as order. So this is called in Sanskrit dharma. There is a cosmic order which is the manifestation of truth, right? So Swami Brahmananda gives an example. Fire burns. You made the fire burn, right? Why is fire burning? There is no why. That's the order. That's the idea. So there is a divine order within creation where everything has its own place. And everything having its own place is called dharma. It's a divine order. Everything has its nature, you see. So the fire burns. The tiger is ferocious, right? The ocean is powerful. All these are manifestations of dharma, cosmic laws. This is the idea. These cosmic laws are a manifestation of God, of truth. You see, it's the truth of everything in creation. The burning nature of fire is its truth. That's truth, because that's the nature. You cannot change it. You see? So the way that your body operates, that's truth. That's dharma. You did not create it, neither you can change it. That's how it is. The psychological laws which govern your mind are truth. You cannot change them. Okay? So you have to work with them. So this is called dharma, cosmic laws. And therefore, Swami Shivananda says, we should recognize those cosmic laws coming out of the cosmic order and then abide by them. This is called dharma. So dharma should govern our actions. Why? Which means we should be in line with the cosmic order. Why? Otherwise, you see, because it means fire burns. Okay, what does it mean? It means don't put your hand in the fire. That's what it means. Of course, you are allowed to do it if you want, because you have free choice. But if you do it, you get burned. Okay? Even if you hope for the best, right? You say, oh, the fire is God, it will treat me very nicely, because it's God. You see? As you put your hand in the fire, this God will burn you. Why? That's the nature of fire. You understand? So the fact that you recognize divinity in things doesn't mean that they change their nature. The opposite. To recognize divinity means to recognize that their nature is divinity. So Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa expressed it in the following way. He said, everything is God, but don't hug tigers. Okay? Because the God manifests in the tiger exactly as the tiger. You understand? So the fact that you see the tiger as divine doesn't mean that the tiger will greet you with namaste. You see? If you misunderstand the cosmic order and hug the tiger will eat your head off. That's its divine nature. You understand? God made it like this. And it's the same with everything. You see? So some people, for example, ask, if everything is God, does it mean that I should be what is called in English a doormat, right? Which means, you know, I should allow everyone to step over me. The yogis say, no, this is against the order. Order means boundaries. You see, look at nature. Nature operates with boundaries. You see? Everything, nothing steps into something else. That's how the order is built. So again, regarding this, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, there is a whole story behind it, but he said, you can hiss, but you cannot bite. You see? That's the meaning. Which means you should keep the order. It's also unhealthy for others if you don't keep the order. You see? You are confusing other people's minds also. by not keeping the order. So to keep the order as healthy boundaries is extremely important for everyone, because this is how we become aware of what the order is. Somewhere in Swami Vivekananda's writings, I can't remember exactly where, there is a beautiful teaching where he says, you know, like a child wants to grab the sweet before completing the dinner, let's say. And then what is the mother doing? The mother says, no, right? And then he says, this no is the beginning of your spiritual path. You see, when someone tells you no, don't do it. Why? You are confronted. Your ego is confronted with the boundaries which represent the cosmic order. Do you understand? So it's very beautiful to understand this. What does it mean, cosmic laws, and how do they manifest? You see? And how abiding by these laws allows us to gradually become aware of the divine reality. You see? So this is the idea. So as we explain everything within nature by the law of cause and effect, so also nature as a whole must be explained. It must have some cause, right? So you see a tree. You know that a tree has a cause. There is a seed from where the tree came. So you know that the law of cause and effect governs nature, right? You know that if you sow seeds of watermelon, you don't expect tomatoes to come out. You know that watermelon will come. You know that cause and effect is governing nature. Then Swami Brahmananda says the whole of nature should be explained in the same way. What caused this magnificent, intelligent creation? There is a cause behind it. This is the idea. It's not a chance. This cause must be different from the effect. It must be some supernatural entity or God. Nature is not a mere chance collection of events, a mere jumble of accidents, but an ordinary affair. The planets move regularly in their orbits. Seeds grow into trees regularly. The seasons succeed each other in order. Now nature is jada, insentient. So nature is an observable phenomena. It does not have self-intelligence. It cannot order itself. It requires the existence of an intelligent being, God, who is responsible for it. Then he says, though you do not see the stars in the daytime, yet they do exist. Though you cannot see the sun during a cloudy day, yet it does exist. Even so, though you cannot see God with these physical eyes, yet he does exist. If you get the divine eye, or the eye of intuition, by the practice of meditation, you will behold him. That's it. Om, Om, Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace. peace, peace, peace. Om Bolo Sadguru Shivananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Swami Vishnu Devananda Maharaj Ki Jai.
Om Namah Shivaya. So we'll go over the schedule for today. 8 o'clock we'll have the yoga class on the Bay platform. 10 o'clock